Wow. A round of applause until he gets here.
Thank you. I hope you don't mind that I'm taking some time to get set here. And you know the reason. Those of us who are above 60 find it difficult to use these electronic devices, but we are being forced to do it because that is the trend of today. Let me begin by welcoming everyone that is here for this very important discourse, the 5th edition of the Frontier Annual Public Lecture Series. Pace-setter Frontier Magazine, I want to commend you. And for your steadfastness, because you have been putting forward this discourse year after year. This is the 5th edition. And it still remains an innovative venture, offering us a platform for an in-depth review of the state of our nation, with a view offering recommendations on how to navigate through the many challenges of this nation. So I want to recognize all the distinguished personalities here. My friend Sajo and Monida, you know, we haven't seen for some time, but I'm glad to see you here today. I want to also recognize those who have and who are coming here to make their views known. The theme reflects a conscious effort. Thank you. A very conscious effort to address a critical aspect of our political life today. So I want to salute the ingenuity of the organizers and the candidness of those who are going to speak, because I know some of them. I know Udenta, I know Aisha, I know so many of them who will give us their views today. Politics of convergence and coalitions, navigating power struggles in shaping democracy. We are at the eve of the year before elections. So there's no other better time than now for us to have a necessary political conversation of where we should go and the strategic movements that we're seeing, as we seek also at the same time to find solutions to the many nagging problems facing us as a nation. And so I think that the topic is very appropriate for this time. Today, there is a consensus among both politicians, civil servants, and the ordinary man on the street that we are in a very dangerous crossroads. I'm sure that is very clear to all. And where we are today, if we can encapsulate it, is that we are in a state that has lost its moral compass. And we cannot run away or shy away from saying that truth. We have lost our moral compass. And why do I say so? When bandits kidnap children and the state rewards them with amnesty, what do you think we have? We have lost whatever morality we have. When soldiers are killed in ambushes and in organized skirmishes by bandit terrorists, whatever name you call them, and the killers are rewarded with integration, what do you think that is? It is a state that has lost its morality. Because every state is built on a foundation of morality, which is justice and equity. In other words, if you commit a crime, you pay the price for that crime. And so, where does that bring us to? It brings us to a point where a nation that rewards terror will one day find that terror will take over power in that state. Because you're not punishing terror, rather, you're rewarding them. And when you pay a kidnapper, all that you have done is that you have sown the seed for the next kidnap, because he will continue to do what he's doing. And so, what are our recommendations for what you need to do as a nation? And I say this advisedly because in 2015, in the inception of this APC government, I was the minority leader in the Senate, which meant that I was officially the person in opposition. And I continued to shout and cry. And I said then that rather than confront the evil before it, the government preferred to deal in propaganda. And I made a quotation that those who live by propaganda will also die by propaganda. And that is where we are today. 10 years after, rather than abating, the matter has simply worsened. And worsened to the extent that a foreign power is now trying to set us, to tell us this is your moral compass where you should be. That somebody is coming from America to tell us what to do. It's a shame on Nigeria. Why? Nigeria was a particular country in this what the pidgin English people will say, before our very, very eyes. We went and imposed order in Liberia. We imposed order in Sierra Leone. We imposed order in the Congo. We went all over Africa imposing order. And the Nigerian military was the best rated military on this African region. And today, we are now told that our soldiers run away from ragtag people who are within our country. That is nothing but shameful. That's why I say that the country has lost its moral compass, and we need to regain ourselves. And how do you regain yourself? You do not reward those. Let me repeat. You do not reward those who live on ransom and blood. Because when you reward them, it only emboldens them to do more. I think there was a particular general, I think from Syria also. I read a quotation from him that when he said that his job is not to forgive, that his job is to send the terrorist to God. Let God forgive the person when he has sent him there. That is what we ought to do in Nigeria. A terrorist and a criminal ought to be sent to go and look for solace somewhere else, not within our polity. Finally, we need to note this. A government that chooses appeasement over justice, a government that chooses appeasement over justice simply signs the death warrant of its citizens. Because what happens is that that person that you are appeasing will see you as weak and will continue to perpetuate more evil so that you will be appeasing them, and there comes the time when there will be no more opportunity to appease them. And so, to go forward, I will like, as I see all the array of people who are going to speak today, to leave the details of all the things we are going to discuss to both the keynote speaker and the other. But I will leave you before I quit this stage with two things, two key points. One, we are back in 2013. There's no doubt about it. What happened in 2013 is what is now going to happen in 2020. 26 and 27. And so, one of the biggest challenges of a political consensus, because we are going to discuss conflict and consensus, one of the biggest challenges is the clash of egos among politicians. And you know why? When somebody says it's my way or the highway, there is no way you can come together. So what we are doing at the moment, or what we can propound at the moment, is that at that moment in 2013, what happened within the opposition succeeded because they converged behind one person and buried all the other egos so that there can be a consensus on the way forward. And for those who are trying to come together today, they need to be very mindful of the lessons of history, of what happened in 2013. Secondly, before I close, 2013 led to the defeat of an incumbent government in 2015. But what now happened? The essence of why people venture into politics should be to selflessly serve people and the country. By 2015, and by the time that government got into power, instead of serving the people, instead of serving the country, everybody now endorsed in saying, let me take my own or my share. And rather than buckle down and deal with the myriad problems of the country, the particular government engaged in blame shifting. It is the previous government of Jonathan. That's what happened throughout from 2015 to the end of the Buhari regime. And what are we seeing today? What we're seeing today is also an APC government of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu going ahead to blame the APC government of Buhari of the problems of today. And we say, no more blame game. Buckle down and do the work for which you are elected. And you're elected to make life easy for your people. You're elected to make life very, very good for your citizens. You're not elected to buy yourself another jet, do all the thing, because for any man like me, above 70, there is nothing you give me today that will mean anything to me, because my time on earth has also gone a very long way, and it's very, very short. What is it? Because I find myself today when I'm at home, and my wife is always complaining. We put a lot of meat, you don't eat, you eat only one. I said, you see, it is the fact that we have gotten to the age where we no longer are gluttonous for anything. And that should be what it should be in your lifestyle as a leader of a poor country like Nigeria. And I emphasize poor country. Because a country of 200 and something million people with a gross domestic product of below $20 billion, that is absolutely nothing. When you have a country like Norway with less than 5 million people and more than $1 trillion. So when you compare, you see that there is no comparison at all in terms of wealth. And so, what we ought to do is to do the right thing and develop a very clear, pragmatic, and visionary solution to all the problems that are besetting Nigeria today. So I'm really excited, and I look forward to hearing from and learning as a student of learning. I'm glad to see Father Luoma here. I only see you on video, all the videos you post. I'm glad that I'm going to listen live to you today. And my very good friend, Udenta, that one, you can always at any time be sure that he is going to make life very, very lively here today. So I wish you all a very successful event. And I thank Pace Setter Frontier magazine, and I say, may God bless Nigeria.